Dear learners and viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the online class of Shalfa Technical and BM College, Sherpur Bogura. Today we will discuss about the components of sentence. In these components of sentence, we can understand that in a sentence there are many parts, and each part contains a name. That means here today we will discuss about some of them. Firstly, I will give you a sentence. This is a fine pen. This is a fine pen. Firstly, we will have to look at this sentence in this way, that this sentence has firstly two parts. That means one is subject and the another is predicate, subject and predicate. Okay. But today our most important task is to find out some other things, like we will have to find out subject, object, appositive, conditional, modifier in a sentence. Then we will have to find out subject, object, appositive, conditional and modifier. How can we find these items in a sentence? Before going to do it, we will have to discuss about subject, object, appositive, conditional and modifier. We will have to discuss about these items. Subject. Subject. How to find a subject? We have known everything about verb. In the previous class, we came to know all things about verb, because I have given you the direction of verb, how to find out verb and all kinds of verb. That means classification of verb was discussed in the previous class. For this reason, we know that how we will have to find out verb. And if we know verb, I have told you that verb is your friend. That means if you ask verb anything, you will get the answer. Here in this section we will discuss about verb. If you are able to find out verb, you will have to ask the verb something, that verb. That means you should write, I think, in this way. He works in the hospital. Suppose he works in the hospital. Here verb is what? Works. Then ask work with who works. You should ask in this way, who works. Answer is what? He. Then he is subject. Okay. তাহলে how will you find subject? after asking the main verb with who, if it gives the answer, then the answer is subject. After asking the main verb with who, if it gives the answer is subject. I think it is very clear about this sentence here. He works in the hospital. Here work is main verb. We have asked work with who works. The answer is he works. That means he is subject. Okay, the next one, object. In the same way, after asking the main verb with what or whom, if it gives the answer, the answer is object. Okay, we will give an example. He plays football. Then here, what is the main verb? Play. Plays. Then asks play with what or whom. What does he play? What does he play? What does he play? Answer is what? Football. Then football is object. Then we can understand that if we ask with who, then the answer will be subject, and if we ask with what or whom, then the answer will be object. Okay, I think you are clear about it, that how will we find out subject and object in a sentence. Okay, we will go to the next topic, that is appositive. Okay, appositive. How will we find out appositive? How will we find out appositive? Appositive is something like noun. That means appositive is, or appositive may be called noun in this way, that appositive is the thing which stands after noun. We know that two nouns never stands in a place. Two nouns never stand in a place. That means we will have to see that in this way. I am giving you example with what you will be more clear about it than anything else. That Mr. Nurul Haq the principal is coming. Mr. Nurul Haq, the principal, is coming. Here Mr. Nurul Haq is noun, the principal is also noun. We know that two nouns never stand in a place, but in this case, in the case of appositive, we see that appositive always stands after noun or around noun. That means Mr. Nurul Haq is noun and the principal is also noun, and the principal is also Mr. Nurul Haq. That means Mr. Nurul Haq and the principal is the same person, and Mr. Nurul Haq is coming, we can say. But in this sentence, Mr. Nurul Haq, the principal, is coming. That means this word gives the excess information about Mr. Nurul Haq, and the principal is the post of Mr. Nurul Haq. Here the principal is appositive, and we should know about it that if the appositive stands after subject, then we should use commas before appositive and after appositive. We should use comma. Okay. We will go to the next one, conditional. I am making the class short because excess time is if we give excess time in class, then most of you will not be attentive to the class, and it is very difficult to upload, you know. Okay, we will discuss about conditional. Conditional. We know that conditional is the form of if clause. If clause. That means we can say that if conditional, the thing which is related with if may be of conditional. Okay, that means first conditional. First conditional is if plus present indefinite plus future indefinite. This is first conditional. If plus present indefinite plus future indefinite, that means if the uh, if we see that after if there is present indefinite tense, if we see that after if there is a sentence of present indefinite tense, then we must use future indefinite in the next part. Okay, I am giving you an example. If he knows, he will not do it. If he knows it, he will not do it. Here we will see that if he knows, here knows is present indefinite tense. He knows is present indefinite tense. Then we will have to use future indefinite tense in the next part. But we will have to find out in this way that if clause is conditional, first conditional and second conditional. Second conditional, if plus past indefinite plus past conditional. What is past conditional? Past conditional is something with would, could, might plus base form of verb V1. That is, if we make this sentence in this second conditional, then the sentence will be if he knew, he would not do it. Here if he knew, here this part is, this clause is of past indefinite tense, and for this reason we will use here past conditional, that means would plus V1. Okay, this part, that means if we see that the clause attached to if is of past indefinite tense, then the answer will be second conditional, and we will go to the third conditional. Third conditional. Third conditional is if plus past perfect plus perfect conditional. Perfect conditional. What is perfect conditional? Perfect conditional is would, could, might and have plus past participle of the verb, that means V3. We will give the example. If he had known, he would not have done it. Okay, we see here that the clause attached to if is of past perfect tense. Then the next part will be of perfect conditional, that means would, could, might plus have plus V3. Here our concern is if we see the past perfect tense attached with if, then this conditional will be of third conditional. Sometimes we see that they uh, did not use if, rather they took this had before subject. That means they had used in this way: had he known, he would not have done it. That means without if, it is possible to use conditional. Without if they use had before subject and write in this way that had he known, he would not have done it, the meaning will be the same as this sentence contains. Okay, that means if we see had plus subject plus past participle form of verb, this clause is also third conditional. Okay, I think you all are clear about subject, object, appositive and conditional. I will discuss about modifier and some exam items in the next class. That means in the next class we will discuss about the questions which will be set in the question paper. Okay, for today, Allah Hafiz. Stay safe, stay well and keep reading. Okay, thank you.